every time when I'm working, man, I have to hear this over and over again. Broncos win the division, win the division. I'm like, man, stop that. Like, come
We
on.
will.
Well, you guys, salute to the chat. You guys, make sure you guys wipe them feet, man. Hit them thumbs up over on Darcy's channel as well. And make sure you guys subscribe to everybody's channels over here. Ben, let everybody know where you are real quick.
Sports Talk Denver, but only say nice things in the comments. And I got an idea for the name of this show, Graph. Since you're Graph and we're just kind of riding your coattails, what if we're like the Grifters or like the AFC West Grifters or Grafters? Or I don't know.
You
like
guys are the ones that make this show. If you
Dude,
don't, then it's just a coffee and convo at that point. Jake, where does everybody follow you at, brother?
So everybody already knows me about my my everyday all sports talk show with the Six Sports Talk Show, but mostly because I'm represented for our boys in the Bolts. Check out Charger Syndicate, guys, on YouTube. We just hit 700. We are almost there to 1,000. We got to get it up. Let's go.
Pause.
Get it up. That's the mantra of this show, boys. We help you get it up.
Yo, let's start over here with Ben, man. How are you feeling? Well, I mean, you're already the hopium is already in the air with Ben. I mean,
crack.
Darce, you know how this goes with Ben, right? This is going to be the funnest 15-minute segment of this show right here because it's just going to be Super Bowl, baby, Super Bowl. I already know, but I want to start off with Ben, man. How are you feeling about the moves? Because you guys made a ton of moves out there in Denver, man, with that money you guys had at your disposal.
Yeah, man, I could not be higher. So the Denver Broncos finished last year top 3 defense in every single metric, and our only holes on defense, was that we struggled at inside linebacker, and we had a safety who I loved, PJ Locke, but he just wasn't him. And we upgraded both of those positions with freaking Dre Greenlaw. Yeah. Just a game wrecker. When he was playing the first half of the Super Bowl against Darcy, he held Travis Kelce to 1 catch. He pops his Achilles. Travis Kelce ends up with 7 catches.
First half trophy.
But I'm just saying, like, when he went out after blowing it, the Chiefs ran away with it. Like, if he stays healthy for that Super Bowl, they don't win it. And the San Francisco 49ers wanted these dudes back so bad that they literally send Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch on a plane to Texas to be like, hey, boys, hold up. We need you back. So a top 3 defense just gets better. And if I could rip this shirt off right now, I would. But I don't have that kind of upper body strength. And then on offense, we haven't had a tight end since Julius Thomas.
And you still don't have one.
Yes, we do. We have a joker, bro. Like, Evan Ingram is him.
A fat, out of shape slob? What are you talking about?
Dude, you're kidding. Oh my. Okay, God. Jake, you can't even talk because he went to the Chargers and did their Charger facility, and he came and he quoted and said the only thing that the Chargers had was Philip Rivers' kids were there, and it took him like 20 minutes to run down the tunnel of Philip Rivers' kids, and that was it.
But let's do this. Let's go over this list of what Denver has done this offseason, and we're going to give our grades, okay? Me and Darcy have already done this, and we'll kind of just repeat kind of what we've done at this point. Yeah. But we're going to start here with Evan Ingram, okay? He goes out there. You know, I knew Ben was going to blow this move up like way more than what it was. 2-year, $23 million deal, $16.5 million guaranteed. Had a down season last year. The year prior, though, had a big year in Jacksonville. I think, last season, 47 catches. He missed 8 games with a hamstring injury, torn labrum as well. But what do you rank this right here? I mean, you did need a tight end. You definitely needed one. I still think that you're going to get one in this year's class. This is a very deep tight end class. So you got to come down with one right here. But what is Ingram? Ben, is he 31? Somewhere 31? 32?
Yeah, 30, I think. Let's see.
Somewhere along those lines, right?
Yeah, he's 30. So he's 6 years younger than Travis Kelce, right? He couldn't even have, like, Travis Kelce could have driven him to middle school. And he's much more of an athlete than him. And in last year, missing 8 games. Oh, Evan Ingram by far is going to have a better year than Travis Kelce. The only tight end. Oh, for sure. It's a fact, dude. It's an absolute fact. Because, like, Evan Ingram had more production in fewer games than any Broncos tight end has had since Julius Thomas. So even his down year last year is a fantastic year for us. So
salute the God and family on a 5-hour special. They need to make the hat Geno wore in his press conference, the Raiders draft hat, because the draft hats this year are crap. I agree. They look like gas station hats. It's disgusting work out here. Goddard family. I wish they did it way better. Those draft hats are always ass, though. Every year they make them look like cheaper
I
and
just
cheaper.
don't know why they don't even go back to like the old schools like that, man.
Yeah, I don't get it, Jake.
Ooh, I do like that hat he wore. I just Googled it.
Hey, Ben, do you got any new shirtless pics of Bo Nix?
Yeah. Hugdies. I'll DM them to you. Dude, I love seeing Hugdies. That's the guy.
Drive. You do not want it.
I need a guy who likes the Broncos like Hugdies, like in my channel, man. He's the man.
Honestly, Ben, how do you rate that pickup? I mean, there's some other names we're going to go over, but this is one of the more highlighted names that you guys brought in free agency. Where do you rank that? Honestly, Evan Ingram.
I honestly give it an A. It was the position I want. It was the player I wanted, and it was a pipe dream going into it. And we ended up with him immediately after he tweets the GIF of the Joker, and why so serious? And like he knows he's going to be Sean Payton's Joker, and he picked the Broncos over the Chargers. He picked Bo Nix over Justin Herbert. I'm thrilled with it. It's an A.
Jake, how do you rate that, man? He did go into the building out there in LA and passed up a situation out there with Harbaugh and company. How you feeling?
I mean, again, I don't feel terrible about the fact that, he chose the Broncos over us. At the end of the day, I kept telling it to everybody. If you look at the Denver Broncos and you look at the LA Chargers, they have the similar blueprint going into the offseason and into the draft. They needed tight end. They needed running back. They needed to upgrade some defensive pieces. So it's like we're literally mirroring images of each other of what our needs are and what we needed to pick up. And so if Evan Ingram decided to go to Denver, more power to him. But he did say in the end that he appreciated the Chargers for even putting together that interview and what their philosophy was going into that before he chose Denver in the first place. So we're not particularly mad at that, but that's okay. It's Colston.
You know what's funny, Jake? When you guys take Colston Loveland, they'll end up having the worst tight end in the division anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, it's funny. So I actually just looked this up because I just wanted to make sure I was correct. Ben, the guy that you said is going to be better than Travis Kelce next year? He was he was actually worse than our second tight end, Noah Gray, who had more touchdowns, more yards, and more catches than he did last year. Yeah. So I don't
look at it on like a per game basis, bro. And he doesn't have like friggin' Legolas Trevor Lawrence throwing him the ball. Okay.
Oh my gosh, he had more catches for fewer yards and fewer touchdowns.
Sorry, hey, but he didn't have the GOAT Bo Nix throwing him the ball, though, right?
Facts. Graph has my back.
Hey, man. I mean, you
can smoke crack before the draft. I mean, you can do that.
You guys bring in some wide receiver help, some much needed wide receiver. I mean, this is kind of a death piece. Trent Sherfield Sr., I mean, honestly, 2-year deal, $6 million, that's $3 million per. This is kind of a death move for you guys, right, Ben? This isn't a situation where you're looking at him as a spot starter, right? Because that'd be pretty bad news for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the cool thing with him is that 17 other teams in the league had the exact same offer on the table, and he picked it because of his connection with Darren Rizzi, our special teams coordinator and assistant coach. And, he was a special teams captain in Carolina. And Carolina beat the Raiders last year, Graf. So talk to us about that.
Right after me having your back, dog, you want to do some shit like that. I get it. I'm going to get you back on a few of these other names.
Okay, good.
Can we set an over-under on the point where Ben's going to be pissed off with Ingram? When's that going to happen?
Ooh.
Week 3. Week 3. You know why? Because he'll probably be out for the season by then. That labrum will be retorn. Yeah, and I'm not trying to throw that out on Evan Ingram. I want him to have,
calling a spade a spade.
See, this is why you got to keep working out Troutman, dude. You got to keep working out Adam Troutman.
Yeah, man.
Get that fish in the lake.
So truly, it is good to hear other people's opinion because I'm just so insulated in that orange and blue Kool-Aid that I thought everyone was like, "Oh, you stole free agency." So you guys really don't think he's that good,
Evan Ingram?
Yeah.
No,
I think he does a service to the offense considering what y'all had with little Jordan Humphrey and then even with Rick Dulcich up at the time. But is it enough to move me? No.
I definitely think it's an upgrade from what you guys have had, definitely. But I just don't think that this moves the needle. I honestly, I don't. This is not.
When you kind of complain about age with Travis Kelce, which I think is a fair criticism because he is 36 years old, but you get someone that's not that much younger and he hasn't been better. Yeah. Like, if you guys draft a tight end,
have 1 or 2 breakout seasons.
I mean, he's had years where
He's had a few.
Yeah, I mean, he had a year that's better than any year Travis Kelce has ever had. He had a year where he had 117 catches, I think.
Are you on crack?
No,
What?
it's a fact.
Talk that shit, Ben. Talk.
Let's look.
I thought he
What
said
are
he
you
was
talking?
off the orange
Look up 2020
Yeah,
Travis.
not good.
He led the league. He led like the league in receiving.
Talk that shit, Ben.
What are you talking about?
I better look this up. This is like
I'm waiting for it because I'm
can
like,
we talk about vaccines for a second here? Let's get into let's go into that.
I'm gonna be wild. I don't even think that Evan Ingram could really top off Gerald Everett, bro. I really
hey yo.
really
Hey, Jake, between you and Duke, we're coming for y'all this season. There's a lot there's a lot of disgustingness in the air right now. Salute to Duke. Appreciate you, brother, on the $5 special.
That might have been the craziest comment I've heard in a long time. There is no way. Listen, if you want to say George Kittle, I can listen. I can listen to that.
It'd still be a lie.
Evan Ingram to Travis Kelce.
I'm saying I think he has 1 year that's better than any year Travis
Evan
Kelce's
Ingram
ever
has never had a year like Brock Bowers last year.
No.
Graf, you know I love Brock Bowers.
Oh no, I know.
I think he's legit. Yeah,
I know. Well, let's get to the. But while you look for that fake article that you threw out into the universe, honestly, I think the best move for you guys was Dre Greenlaw. That was a guy that I wanted in the silver and black bad. Linebackers is a situation that is very, very bad for us out there in Las Vegas. We did go out to get a Landon Roberts, and we brought in Devin White on a 1-year deal, no guarantee money. But Greenlaw was the guy, like the big money guy for me at the linebacker position. Denver steals him from the Niners, like you said. The coaching staff, the regime was trying to keep him in the building. It was too late. Greenlaw already made his mind up that he was going out there to Denver. How do you feel about this move? I definitely think that if he can stay healthy, this kind of takes that defense to another level this upcoming season.
Oh, for sure, man. Because like this was the position going into the year last year when we were doing these videos together. Do you guys remember when we were on Roundtable and then we got so big we had to start our own thing? But
salute the Roundtable, man. If it wasn't for them, we would have never met each other.
Absolutely, man. Dude.
Salute to those guys.
But so going into last offseason, we were worried about the inside linebacker position. And then in that game against the Jets, Alex Singleton blows out his ACL. And so then we're like, oh my God, we signed Quan Alexander.
Yep.
And so to be a top 3 defense without that, and then you go get a tone setter like Greenlaw, and I think he's fairly young to come back from an Achilles pop. And the fact that the team that knows the best about how he's recovering from that is the 49ers, and they flew to Texas to try to keep him. I think that's a good thing.
I think that was the best pickup for you guys this offseason. Real talk. And I didn't like that at all. Salute to 2-4 real quick. The best NFL moment was when the KC Chumps got blasted in the Super Bowl. Darcy, talk about that. Salute to Ben, salute to Jake, and Graf, you're legendary. Salute to my guy 2-4 on the 5. Before we get back to this Denver free agency nonsense, Darcy, let's talk about it a little bit, because there was a lot of guarantees that were made on our previous show. Once again, salute the Roundtable. There's a lot of guarantees. It was like, we're going to win this Super Bowl again. We're going to do it again and do it again. And then we're going to do it again. How are we feeling right now? Because look, if it was close, I would shut up. Like I'd be like, you know what? Phenomenal. This was the worst Super Bowl I think I've ever seen in my life, outside of the Raiders getting murdered, early on in 2020 or 2001, 2002 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is disgusting. Darcy, I mean, how do you defend yourself from this? You can't.
There is no defending yourself. I will say, I wish we would have had a post-game show for when we beat the Bills, because you didn't think it was going to happen. And I said it was going to happen.
And then the NFL changed how they measured first down, so that won't happen again. But
all for Josh Allen. They changed all the rules for Josh Allen. That's on the record. But I don't know. It's one of those things, like, I can't even remember the game. It's so far out of my mind. It's months ago. I'll never think of that game ever again. We're on to next season. And honestly, like, I think this team is going to be just maybe not as good record-wise, but they won 15 games, and they chose to lose to the Broncos in that final week of the season. And I think they'll be really good this next year, and they're still going to have a very good shot to go all the way. Like,
what do you think about that? Was it a guy on ESPN, Darcy? I know you've seen the video where he said that the Chiefs aren't even going to make the playoffs.
It was Colin Cowherd. Yeah, and it's a fact.
No,
it's an absolute fact.
Yeah.
That's
my boy.
That's my boy. The same
and
thing
you know what?
Every single year.
And Cowherd literally said something sideways. He said, I got the Chargers winning the division. I was like, Colin, stop that. stop trying to put some sort of bad juju in my cup right now, because I'm not doing that until we actually do it.
Ben would have did a video and said, we're winning the Super Bowl in 2025.
Oh, I did a video about him saying the Chiefs weren't going to make it. And dude, I don't think it's going to go that far, but
no.
Darcy, the Chiefs will not win the division, dude.
Like,
mark it, clip it, book it. It's going to happen. The Chiefs are going to win
your
the division.
offensive line was garbage.
We're still better than you.
Beat us by a blocked field goal, and we've gotten better at every hole. Every hole you had has gotten bigger.
We just got a left tackle,
a backup 5th round pick who like
he was backing up the best left tackle in the NFL.
Walk that shit, Ben.
Demonstrably worse. And anyone who's a fan in San Francisco,
you can come out here and talk your shit about Evan Ingram, but when I say, you know what, we might have mediocre left tackle play, which is more than we can say for last year.
You got a family.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Evan Ingram or the backup tackle that none of us can name from San Francisco? Who's a bigger pickup? Now. I'm asking Graf and Jake. They have tax.
The tackle's not even close.
You know who
What's his name, Darcy? Do you even know his name?
Jalen Moore.
Look, you know who it is? It is Geno High Stakes Smith, baby.
We don't talk about Geno.
It's the biggest. Jake, man, how we feeling, man? Do you think the Chiefs? Because I honestly believe there's going to be 3 teams in our division again in the playoffs. But I do believe that one of your guys' teams are going to be the ones to fall out. I don't think the guy actually wants to hear it from me because I think he may get pissed off because he always has my back and I always have his. And
it's Ben. The Broncos.
No, it's going to be Jake. He's not going to say that to me.
Hey, Jake, sophomore slump, baby. Sophomore slump. Bo Nix is not going to make the playoffs next year, man.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
Look, it's not a bad take. Not a bad take at all.
There's nothing else that I really would have to say about Bo Nix other than the fact that he's the baby duck walking around in the NFL because Justin Herbert is king of the Ducks. So, at the end of the day,
I was going to say, Jake, Bo Nix has performed better in the playoffs than Justin Herbert, and Evan Ingram literally just looked at both of them and picked Bo Nix.
He beat Justin Herbert twice, bro. He couldn't do it.
Real quick, though, Ben, you brought in Hufanga. I think it was a great move at the safety spot. You brought back DJ Jones on a 3-year deal. You brought back the GOAT, Jared Stidham. There's no better backup in the world, man. Stidham is the GOAT. Former Raider, man. He went out there and almost beat the 49ers. I'm always going to remember that game. But honestly, how do you grade this offseason? Those are pretty much the big, acquisitions that you guys had this offseason.
Yeah, I'd definitely give it an considering that we're still eating the second half of that Russell Wilson dead cap hit, I give it an A+. Like, when you get John Lynch and Shanahan flying out, you get them picking the Broncos over Herbert. I think it's hard to not just be thrilled. We're basically tied with the Buffalo Bills at halftime in Bo Nix's first playoff game. Like, we're good. We're very good.
I give you guys an A-. I think I did like the moves you guys made in the offseason. The thing that got me nervous about you guys was you guys did not go out and get a veteran running back because this class is so deep. So it scares me because I'm like, oh my God, Amarion Hampton's going to be a Denver Bronco and I'm going to hate it every single week. I got to watch you guys play football. So I thought that was the interesting thing was you guys didn't go out and do the Dallas Cowboys move where they went and got 2, in free agency in a deep class, which makes absolutely no sense. I got to be real. As much as I can't stand you guys, I think it's an A-. Then you guys had a really good. I mean, the Greenlaw pickup itself just absolutely insane. How would you grade their offseason, Jake?
I'd say the same exact thing. I think A-. Getting Drake Greenlaw, because here's the thing: when you think about upgrading from Cody Barton, which honestly, with the way that he panned out, like he was streaky. That's why, like, once you needed to solidify that linebacking position with Drake Greenlaw up in there, now I kind of feel a little bit like this defense that was top 10 last year is getting better as it goes. So once you add that and you add Talanoa Hufanga, like the possibilities are endless for them. And then having him paired up with Brandon Jones and like a bunch of guys in that secondary is gonna be stupid sick. But I do think the Broncos, they are on the similar competitive side. Now, with them getting Evan Ingram, of course, with the tight end position, does that leave them in a position where they may not take tight end? I don't think it does, but it's not going to be a position of need like when you're talking about the first round. I could see them maybe potentially getting something in the second round, if not the third, because there's still there is this is probably the deepest depth type of draft that we've ever seen now. So,
you know what's crazy, Jake? I can see them taking Tyler Warren in the first round and waiting until the second to get a running back.
Yeah, they've said that.
I think and that's the other thing. Either if they trade up or it just so happens to fall in their lap, because you got to consider the Colts and you got to consider a couple teams that need tight ends.
Yeah. I got the Colts taking him in the first.
Oh, yeah.
What you got, Darcy? Denver Broncos offseason.
I give them an A. I think they had a good offseason.
I love you guys. This is why we do this.
That doesn't mean that you're going to win the division. You had a good offseason. Guess what? You guys had a good offseason last year. You guys are the offseason champions. Like, congrats.
And last year it resulted in
a first-round playoff loss.
Well, making the playoffs, bro.
I guess it's all about perspective. It's all about how you look at it.
Despite that Travis Kelce take you had for Evan Ingram, he still managed to give you an A, Ben.
I know.
That was maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Wait, let's actually circle back. Let's circle back really quickly. Would you rather have Evan Ingram or Jalen Moore? Who is the bigger pickup? Don't say if you say Graf, if you fucking say Geno Smith one more time.
I'm not. Look, honestly, I'll say this. It's a wash to me because you guys both feel the need. Mm-hmm. This may sound like I'm just cheating a little bit, but offensively, you guys needed a line. I mean, you need some linemen out there with the Chiefs. You lose Tooney, he goes to Chicago where they're probably putting together one of the best O-lines in football right now. You guys needed to do something. And he was essentially a backup out there that got a few starter minutes with the Niners, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it felt the need. I still believe you guys are going to potentially go get some guard help or some tackle help there in the first or the second round.
I'd be pissed if they got Simmons, not a Simmons guy.
I like Simmons, but and then Ben, you guys picked up somebody off the streets that feels a need, but also will not stop you guys from getting someone that will be better than him at that position. So it doesn't really. It's kind of a wash to me. It's like I think both these guys are gonna be starters for you potentially, and I don't think they're really gonna do shit. Either one of them.
2 years ago, 114 receptions for Evan Ingram. Like that's 3 years of tight end production for Denver.
With 364 yards in the air.
What were his yards? Don't give me his catches. Give me his yards and touchdowns.
963 yards.
He didn't crack 1,000.
Hey, he's playing in Jacksonville.
What he averaged like 2.3 a clip?
He's playing in Jacksonville, guys.
It's nasty work. Salute to Jason Hunter, gifted B Raiders.
To nearly crack 1,000 yards with Sunshine and Mac and Sleaze. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Mac and Sleaze.
Salute to my brother Jay. I appreciate you, man. He was over here the other night, about 2 nights ago. I swear that I burped this morning. I still tasted the tequila that we had. Jason, stay away from my house, bro. Salute to you. Salute to Hug as well. Graf, thank you for bringing on these special guests. I love what you're doing for the special needs community of YouTube creators. Salute to my guy, my dog.
That was good.
This is my Make-A-Wish right here. My Make-A-Wish.
I see why. It's the awareness month, isn't it? That's what it is. Yeah.
Yo, but that is the Denver Broncos offseason. Real quick, this is pre-draft though, Ben. Where do you think you fit in the grand scheme of things before? This is pre-draft. Are you a playoff team right now like you were last season?
Yeah, I think if Bo Nix and our rookie, we had 5 rookies playing in that playoff game last year. If they all take a step forward and we continue to be young and hungry, 100%, I think we are.
Okay, let's get it.
If they all 5 take a step forward, what are you talking about?
Just like
that is delusional.
Hey, Darcy, if everybody gets better on the football team,
everyone gets better,
we're gonna
be awesome.
Darcy, do you expect Xavier Worthy to have a better year next year than he did this year? That's what I
don't expect George Karlaftis to get X amount better. That's not how football works.
No, I'm saying, like, are these rookies going to continue to ball out of control and get better?
Honest, Ben, getting those 5 dreads ripped out of his head, he's on demon time this season.
Yeah.
I think 2, maybe 3 of the 5. You're not gonna get a perfect sweep.
Well, dude, I'm not. We had one of the youngest rosters. We had the youngest roster in the league, other than the Green Bay Packers. I'm not saying all of them.
Now that I think about it, Xavier Worthy needs to find a new trainer now. After what ended up happening,
100% he does. But I'm not saying all of our rookies need to get better. I'm saying the 5 starters that we had who balled out of control, if they take a step forward, we're gonna be. We're going to win the division. We're going to make the playoffs.
And Darcy, if was a 5th, we'd all be drunk. Let's get to this Chargers offseason real quick where we can talk about another overrated tight end. Tyler Conklin. Tyler High Stakes Conklin. How do you feel about this big, massive, mood-changing move right here, Jake, for your Los Angeles Chargers? Tyler Conklin.
So let me just address this up and in the room when it comes to Tyler Conklin, okay? Tyler Conklin is actually supposed to be the tight end that Hayden Hurst was supposed to be. And Hayden Hurst disappointed badly. So this is why getting Tyler Conklin with the amount of time that he spent on the field and the amount of catches and yards and first downs that he had for the Jets, dude, this is probably the best serviceable tight end that you could possibly get on the market for that value. So you let Hayden Hurst go. You got another year with Will Dissly, which I don't see Dissly truthfully being that offensive guy. He's more of just a serviceable blocking tight end. And if he's open on the short routes, then Herbert's going to give it to him and get at least 5 yards. But
1 year deal too, Jake. 1 year deal. This isn't anything like you guys. It's not going to stop you guys from going out and getting a number one tight end.
That's what I kept telling everybody because I've been hearing it from Denver fans. I've been hearing it from Rams fans. They're like, you're not going to take a tight end. I said, we will, because the whole point is we're not going to be stuck on just the 1 year. We're talking about a whole 5-year future. And here's the thing. Don't be surprised if we actually take 2 in this draft.
Let me say this. There's a reason why you guys went out and got Conklin. This kid did not drop a football, I believe, last season. And Dissly dropped a ton for you guys. So this is more of a shorthanded option out there at the tight end position. But once again, you'll go get another kid out there in the draft. I mean, what do you rank this here? I mean, this has to be kind of a middling, C+, B- kind of move.
This is about a C+, B- move because at least he is serviceable. He's available. That's the best ability you could have is availability. So with him not missing too many games and for him to be that possession type tight end, that really does help us to move the chains on offense.
How you feel about it, Ben?
Yeah, I'm just they can be excited about it. We know who they wanted originally, and
He's no
Broncos got him. He's no Evan Ingram. I mean,
yes,
the Chargers wanted Evan Ingram and they didn't get him. So I don't know. And Jake can be like, yeah, he thanked them for their interview and how nice that was. Like, Jake, if that's what girls said when they said no to going to prom with you,
we could be in the playoffs. But you know what? Evan Ingram's going to enjoy being a first-round exit. That's fine.
I just love this discussion because for the first time in a long time, like this is the one position that y'all can't say shit to me about.
Oh, I know.
I'm just like, hey man, let's have some fun with Tyler Conklin and Evan Ingram, Darcy. How you feeling, man?
This is like 2 fat bitches fighting over who's hotter. Like this is ridiculous.
We're just there's a lot of stuff. I was wondering if we could stay on YouTube.
Crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yo, Darcy with a haymaker. All right, let's get to the next one because I thought this was funny. And I remember Charger fans absolutely killing me on Twitter for years about my starting center, Andre James.
Yeah.
Right. We decided to cut him. You know, he spent his entire career with the Raiders. One of the last Oakland Raiders on the roster. Goes out there and he's probably going to be the starter for you guys. Signed a 1-year deal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, guaranteed. You know, he started 61 to 80 career games. So he's a career starter at this point.
Yes.
How do you feel about this move? I know you guys needed to bring a center into the building. How do you feel about this? And let's be honest, Andre James.
I mean, seriously, I would tell you, thank God, because honestly, what was the point of us bringing back Bradley Bozeman for 2 years?
Yeah.
And so when I saw the guaranteed money on Bozeman's contract, I'm like, oh, that's a backup role. So that doesn't really even hurt me that much. But when we get Andre James for at least 1 year, all I know is that I don't think we find our center at least up in this draft. We might try to draft one, but I think it's going to come out of next year's draft. So this buys us time because
he's a serviceable center. He's a serviceable center.
And when
he plays the likes of a Chris Jones and those dominant DTs, he just gets his lunch ate.
Now, remember, though, you could always shift that over to the guy next to him, and we'll get to him a little bit later on, but Mekhi Becton. So it's like you could be shifty with all of that. But to me, I'm just curious about what's going to honestly happen with Zion Johnson because a lot of rumors right now happening at least draft night, and I don't know what that's going to.
Former Boston College kid I was high on. I thought he was going to be a lot better at the next level.
Draft party with you, Grab, when that happened.
Yep. You were in Las Vegas. We were there when you guys took him. Got it, family.
Like, you took an offensive lineman? I'm like,
yeah. Well, we took our first in that third round too that year. We took Dylan Parr. I mean, we took Parham there. Remember, because we didn't have a first or a second because of Devontae.
Because I think, what was your first round that year? It was, oh dear God.
No, we didn't have one. We didn't have one.
Oh, that's right. You guys
we traded our first and second for Devontae Adams.
Oh shit, that's right.
Bro, we threw a draft party and we didn't draft until the third round. It was rough, but we made it through. Hey, God and family, we're going to talk about this because honestly, I want my guys' thought process on this. They've texted me and we've talked about it behind the scenes, but I definitely want to see what they think about our new coaching staff because that's what makes the Raiders more of a threat than anything that we've done in free agency is what we built up behind those walls. I'm excited about it. So we'll go over that as well, God and family. But real quick, we got the next kid, Mekhi Becton. This is a guy that I wanted the Raiders to take a look at in free agency. There's a lot of questions, Jake, with him because we don't know if he's going to look like he was in Philadelphia around that dominant O-line. They took him from tackle to guard. He was hurt a lot out there with the Jets. Took him, transitioned him to a guard, looked really good out there with Philadelphia last year. What's your take on this? I thought this was a really, really good move for you guys. I give this an A. I give this an A
as well because honestly, Mekhi Becton is coming off of a Super Bowl championship into where what Jim Harbaugh likes is he likes guys that have championship mentality. And so for Mekhi Becton to go into Philadelphia and them turning the page and making him a completely different player on that front line was just unbelievable. So bringing him into there as an interior guard really does help us out because the fact of the matter is that interior outside of our offensive tackles that has just been superb all season long, this really helped us because a majority, we all watched that in that Texans game, they were destroying us in the interior. So having a guy like Mekhi Becton really does help us to provide for protection for Justin Herbert, but also provides that kind of elite push for him to get some running lanes open for our running core. So that's why I'm like, I give this one an A as well. I was waiting to see if we were ever going to address it, but somehow, some way, he decided, hey, 2-year deal, I'll take it.
Darcy, 2-year deal for Becton, 1 year for Andre James. How do you call those how do you call those moves?
The Mekhi Becton one, I think it's interesting because obviously he didn't work out in New York. He looked good in Philly.
Yeah.
I would say with the bookends that you guys have out there in LA, he's going to be good. Unfortunately, he's going to be a really good piece for you guys. Kind of surprised he didn't go for a while in free agency. It was 3 or 4 days into free agency before he got signed. So yeah, I'd give it about an A for a grade. And then Andre James, I don't really know what to think of him. Where does he fit on that offensive line? Is he just depth? I mean,
he'll be the starter, at least right now, for sure.
Believe me, he will be the starter because with Bradley Bozeman, he was literally ranked last on PFF amongst centers last year. It was that bad.
Yeah.
That's how bad. Maybe I just wasn't. I watched that Texans playoff game. Yeah, that interior was a little brutal.
And that's why Herbert had 4 interceptions because of the interior. It was
I stab you in the back with that, Jay. You see how Darcy set you up? That was so cold. He dunked that shit. That was nasty work. Oh, disgusting.
He did a Zion.
I'm more hurt than all of you guys. I can make those jokes.
Oh my God. He had to do a Zion dunk right there up on it. But listen, I got film up on it, man. And the viral one was the one where I guess he moved to the left and we're like, where the hell is Bradley protecting? And he's just going to let somebody just go right past him. What are you doing?
Ben, how are you calling these 2 moves?
Yeah, honestly, an A. I'm glad they didn't get any skill position. It's basically Ladd McConkey. J.K. Dobbins still a free agent out there, which is wild and weird. Who else did you get, Jake?
You remember the Chief Killer himself, Mikey Dub?
Oh, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
Yeah. They brought back Mike Williams.
Those Chiefs, in that self-proclaimed Chiefs killers, did they ever beat us? I guess they did beat us once. They did beat us once.
Hey, can you imagine? Remember us watching Mike Williams
actually
at the college level?
You recall Phillip Rivers throwing that one right there?
I do remember.
A 1-year, $6 million deal, Ben. He's pretty much playing in California for free.
Yeah, for sure with taxes, man. But yeah, I mean the Chargers offensive line is nasty, man. Like I was trying to pull up the tweet and I can't find it. It was just like the weight of those guys, and they're all solid players. So that Chris Jones is gonna be good. If you get Wilkinson back, that's stopping that. I feel good about DJ Jones and Zach Allen, but still, they're gonna run the ball. Yeah.
They attacked the trenches, right? They went and got Becton. They went and got Andre James. They added Naquan Jones. They brought Deshaun Hand in. That helps short that D line a little bit, even though they'll probably still go get a few more guys. They lost Bosa, which I think was great for you guys. He's just hurt. Just durability is just a problem with him. Brought back Khalil Mack, right? A 1-year deal, all guaranteed. He'll end his career out there with Jim Harbaugh. Mike Williams. I think
bring back Tony Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, Benjamin St. Juste, you brought him. Najee Harris, which I wanted to talk to you about that. What do you think about that 1-year deal worth up to 9.5 or 9.25? How do you feel about that move? Because that was a kid that I thought he a grown-ass man, that I thought the Raiders were going to take a look at because of the relationship he has with Marshawn Lynch. He signed with his marketing agency. I just thought Bay Area kid, it would make sense, but the Raiders look like we're going to really go address that position in the draft. How'd you feel about that move?
Oh, bro, if we were like at some retail store at like the red tag sale, that is probably the best. That's probably the best signing that we've had right there at a guarantee of 9.5. Najee Harris, what people don't realize, and I think this is why, because my crazy take on my all sports show was I believe that the New England Patriots will make the playoffs over the Pittsburgh Steelers, because you are going to miss this guy with his availability, because he has not missed a game.
Never missed a game ever.
Years. And he's always rushed for 1,000 yards. It
all
may
4
seasons pretty, but it's because look at the state of Pittsburgh's offensive line. That's the part that in some of them, they're like, oh, it's him or it's the offensive line. They could not figure it out. But because now you're going into a different offensive line, and a funny note is that Najee Harris has had close relationships with Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Absolutely loved Michigan. Now, granted, he went and played up at Alabama, but he always had such respect for Jim Harbaugh. So for him to now be reunited with him, I guarantee you, and I made this take, watch Najee Harris literally run for 12, maybe 1,300 yards on the ground. They are all about the trenches, and with a better looking offensive line to provide those running holes and his and also his breakoff tackle ability, that's gonna feed some families.
He's good in the passing game as well, and also it's a 1-year deal, so it's a prove it because he wants him another deal after this. So I think the Najee's going to go out there and fight like crazy this upcoming season to try and prove people wrong about him. Ben, how do you feel about that move, and include Mike Williams and Khalil Mack into that situation as well? How do you feel about those 3 moves with the Chargers?
Yeah, Najee Harris, man, that's a huge signing. That was a name floating around Denver circles. Sean Payton basically said like he thinks that the free agent running back class was pretty weak, and this is such a deep rookie running back class that's why the Broncos didn't make any moves. But Najee Harris was at the top of my board with J.K. Dobbins, and I think that's a big upgrade. And your offensive line got better. Y'all are gonna run the absolute snot out of the ball, and I know that because I judged badminton. I'm reading these comments about me, and I'm getting toasted, man. I'm dying. They're so funny.
I love it,
man. Someone was saying I'm wearing my little sister's hoodie, and I was a badminton judge, I guess. Yeah, badminton judge, and ran the scoreboard in high school. That's actually true. I was in the marching band. I would get those highlights.
One of those had to have came from Wasted.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes.
No, he told me I'm the perfect QVC salesman.
Yo, Darcy, how you feel about those moves with the Chargers, man?
I mean, the Najee Harris one's really good. I also think, how excited can you get about Mike Williams? Like at this point, like he's not a needle mover. I mean,
well, let me be honest with you, because the Mike Williams deal, the reason that we go and get him back is because not only does he have familiarity with Justin Herbert and with the type of offense they play, but Mike Williams is the ideal person that I would trust to go up and get the ball when it's thrown on the backside, on the outside, than Quentin Johnston. That's the reason why.
Because there's rumors about you guys trying to move on from Q right now before the draft.
Because here's the deal. This is what we've been saying all year long, and even from last year, is because he just can't get over dropping the ball. He cannot. Like I've said it before that the only packages that would be perfect for Q is jet sweeps and bootlegs. If you give him just short passes, his yards after the catch ability is what's scary to most defenses because they can't pull him down. But you can't trust him to be on the outsides as a freaking, a Y or an X up out there to go up and get it. Like, you can't trust him to do that because he doesn't have the hands to pull it in.
Yeah. I mean, Dars, how you feeling about the Chargers offseason? I mean, there's a few other names that we can go over, but once again, it's not, those are the big prizes out there in Los Angeles. We can talk about Dante Jackson, a few other guys, but I mean, honestly, does Najee really move the needle for you at the running back position? Bringing in Khalil Mack, I gave their offseason a B+, and a big part of it was because they allowed Bosa to just go. Like, you got TT out there, Tully, USC's ready to take that next step. You guys can go draft one in a real sneaky, edge rushing class. I thought that was a really good move, allowing him to go on and go to Buffalo, where he'll be the new Von Miller out there, kind of that guy that'll give you 8-9 games and, so on and so forth.
Von Miller and Joey Bosa, man.
It's one thing to let him go when he's in his prime, and it is of him being this injury prone. And we're like, look, it's time. We can't, so it opened up the hole to where now we could potentially draft our next successor. So,
well, I'll say this, like, you guys did, I like the Najee signing because, like, the floor is higher than JK. Like, JK is someone that if you guys would have brought back, I wouldn't have taken you seriously. Like, he's going to get hurt. He's not going to be, like,
I'd be fine with the rotation piece. I'd be fine with that, but not a bell cow.
Not the bell cow. Yeah, like, not someone you want to, like, have starting. No. So, like, Najee was good. Mike Williams is whatever. I think it's just, like, you guys didn't really sign a needle mover at tight end or wide receiver, and so you're going to have to go into the draft and find those guys, and you can.
What's funny? What's funny that we did end up signing? We signed Taylor Heineke back.
Oh, yeah.
Also signed Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah. You got a backup quarterback. Yeah.
My thing with the Trey Lance deal, because everybody's all like, oh, he's coming after Herbert's job. This is what Jim Harbaugh does. I said, stop the cap. Okay, first of all, Herbert is the bell cow quarterback. He's not going anywhere. And
QB3.
I expect Trey Lance, because if it's going to be that QB2 battle in the preseason, I could see him being a package to what Jim Harbaugh did with J.J. McCarthy and Alex Orji at Michigan. Like, you're going to have McCarthy.
You said Orji?
Yeah, there's Orji's. Okay. Orji's running on the field. They're running on the field.
It's what is it? This Arbor. What is it?
Ann Arbor Orgy.
Ann Arbor Orgy.
Yeah, Ann Arbor Orgy. So
I just don't. I don't understand how anyone would be like, oh yeah, Trey Lance, he's a dog. Like, he's someone we got to watch for Trey Lance.
No. Kyle Shanahan did, obviously.
Yeah, he's a puppy.
That was the only guy that he really couldn't unlock, which is actually kind of crazy. Let you know who he really is.
Couldn't even unlock him either.
Nah, bro, he couldn't even win the backup position out here in Dallas, which is actually crazy. So yeah, I mean, look, I give you guys a B+, and I think that it was smart to go about your business this way. This was a weak free agency class, you guys. Like, it really wasn't a deep class. You don't want to go out there and overpay like Carolina. Like, some of these bad teams, New England went out there and paid a crazy amount of money to a bunch of mid players. I think that every one of our teams in our division were very, very smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, very feasible. We didn't go out there and make any crazy splashy moves. I think Drake Greenlaw got the most richest contract out of everybody, and rightfully so, though. I mean, he deserves it. When healthy, he's one of the better linebackers in the NFL.
And that one made sense because look at the linebacking core around him. And that was a top 10 defense. So it made sense to do that.
Or you can be like, Darcy and them and go pay Gardner Minshew and, some of those guys some money.
Best backup coordinator. Best backup quarterback in the division. Book it.
Darcy, that is the greatest man to ever play quarterback to throw a football over mountains. Uncle Rico.
Uncle Richie. Oh, yeah. Uncle Rico. Yeah.
There's boogers galore in Kansas City, man. Yeah. Real quick, I want you guys to give a grade to the Chiefs real fast. I mean, this offseason, they brought back one of their own.
It's going to make me upset. I'm going to be upset.
They tagged, they tagged it. They tagged. I wanted him as a Raider. Tagged the guard. What was it? $25 million.
The Bears wanted him so bad too.
Yeah, it was like $25 million. You go out and get, a bunch of former Raiders and Jerry Tillery and Gardner Minshew and Janarius Robinson.
And they'll be superstars. No.
Yeah,
I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even do it.
Christian Fulton, some depth at the cornerback position for you guys. Elijah Mitchell, he's never healthy, but when he is, he's a really good running back. So that's a sneaky move. Then you were talking about Jalen Moore for you as well, who can be a sneaky option for you on the O-line. How do you guys feel about the Kansas City Chiefs all season?
I give it a C. I'll be nice. Only because
I'll say a D.
I
definitely say a D. Just I think you take the typical NFL fan and they don't know any of those names. But in fairness to you, Darcy, you overperformed last year. We all thought you were done and the window was shut last year, and you had one of the best seasons you've had, and made the Super Bowl. So you didn't have to get better, but I think the weaknesses are gonna be exposed, man. And you can brag about beating us, but it was a blocked field goal, and then we freaking mollywopped you. And
I give it an F. So give it an F. I mean, you went out and got a starting quarterback of a 4-13 team. You ain't got
play.
You got an edge rusher from a 4-13 team.
Start players like that. They don't. They're like third or fourth. Your starters aren't even our backups. Gardner Minshew might not even win the backup job.
Well, you guys got Bailey Zappi too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Bailey Zappi. Yep.
He'll end up beating Gardner Minshew out.
Probably not. Just knowing how they do it.
Mahomes.
Where'd Carson Wentz go?
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
Cleveland was interested in him. He was interested a little bit too, and then they went out and brought Flacco back. So I don't know where he's going to end up right now. There's not really too many backup jobs available right now. So he may be sitting at home somewhere.
If the Chiefs had a C or a D free agency, you guys should be very confident in your team winning the division, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's not smart. I'm just going
to tell you right now. You also got to understand. I will see it to believe it.
Let me ask you guys real quick, because we got a lot of Raider fans here. What's your opinion? We'll start here with Jake on the Raiders offseason. There's a lot of change in the building. Pete Carroll takes AP's job. Carroll's won every step of the way. Legend, Hall of Fame type dude, USC, Seattle. He's done it all, right? Spytech, a new GM that has had his hand in the pot with a lot of these great pickups out there in Tampa Bay, was one of the minds that brought in Baker Mayfield, was one of the guys that brought in Tom Brady to Tampa Bay, both Michigan guys. They won a championship together. Spytech is a guy that I've said it on my channel several times when I went and covered the Shrine Bowl. When Pete Carroll got signed, everybody kept coming up to me and saying, Spytech. And I'm like, damn, I didn't even know that this guy had that much respect around football circles. Brought him in. Tom Brady now is heavily involved in what we got going on. We bring back Patrick Graham, our defensive coordinator, but we go out and make Chip Kelly the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL, $6 million a year after coming off of a national championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes. I want you guys to take it. We'll start here, Jake. How do you feel about just the coaching and just the shift change with the coaching staff and upper management, all that good stuff?
Honestly, I'm actually kind of proud of you guys. I'm proud of you guys for once, because here's the thing, man. Like you could not, when you moved to Las Vegas, you could not do this looking mediocre. Okay. I've been saying this before and I will say it again. Okay. You're not trumping the Vegas Golden Knights fan base. You're just not going to, if you're going to be mediocre like this. You needed to make a change. You finally got adults in the building now to manage this the way that it was meant to be. Now, when you get Spytech, and look, side note on this, that's very fitting of a name there, considering the fact you got Tom Brady up over there.
Yep. Spygate 2.0, baby.
Why is this not tampering?
Don't matter.
How is it still broadcasting? What is going on?
So
somebody mute Darcy, man. This is terrible.
So at the end of the day, with him being close to Jason Licht up in Tampa Bay, he's learned a lot of very good things. So I think the draft is really going to be really interesting to watch with him, because I'm even watching, the young kid up there in Jacksonville now, that he's got an interesting mind. So I'm curious what Jacksonville does. But I feel the same about the Raiders. You need to get young. You need to get better in some spots, but you also need to have the right veterans to control this locker room. So when you get someone like Pete Carroll, who is very respected, even in the West Coast and all that he's done in SoCal, this was a guy that we know, just like Harbaugh, knows how to battle in the trenches. So even if you get a guy like a veteran quarterback like Geno Smith, it's not a bad signing at all, considering what the quarterbacks that the Raiders have had all through the years. So you get somebody that, what's funny is, and I could see the philosophy, I'm sure you talked about this too, is what they didn't talk about was Geno Smith actually has a very good quarterback rating in play actions. So when he has Kenneth Walker and they're doing a lot of those run plays and play action, that's where Geno plays his best. So it buys you time until your future quarterback does come around. And with Chip Kelly, I've been saying this before, do not be surprised that Chip Kelly's going to get one of his Ohio State boys, whether it's going to be Quinshon Judkins or it's going to be Travion Henderson. He's going to get one of those guys, but instill the run, play in the trenches. And the only thing I questioned really mostly was just some of the guys you let go, like Robert Spillane and even
Jack
Jones. Jack Jones. Like,
I know,
dude, he's good. He's very good.
Well, let me say this.
I'm proud of you.
He's good.
He gave up like a leading 11 touchdowns last season or something like that. But let me tell you something. I'll talk to you guys a little bit more behind the scenes. There's way more to that situation. So there's way more. There's effort. There's not showing up to meetings. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that happened with that. So,
but talent-wise, he was ridiculous.
He cleared the waiver wire, you guys. Not one team picked him up. There's a reason for that.
So yeah, that's a good point.
Somebody must have sent the text message there. Like, do not sign him.
Yeah. Ben, how you feeling, man, about what we did?
Yeah, so let's separate the personnel and the leadership part. As far as leadership goes, y'all hit it out of the park, dude, and it scared me. There was that hot second when I thought Matt Stafford was coming and was with Brady, and I'm like, oh my goodness, because I do think you have a great core. I think your defense is ridiculous and fantastic, and Brock Bowers had one of the best best rookie seasons we've ever seen. So I was freaking terrified. So I don't think you actually capitalized on any of that, but Pete Carroll makes this a legit organization. Tom Brady is going to be in the room on draft day. And I think ownership matters. And that's something everybody laughed at when I said that a couple of years ago. And now you see that rings true. So I think the 5-year growth arc of the Raiders is extremely bright. I don't love the moves you made, and we can talk more about that.
But I have to say this too. Ben was one of the first people, you guys, that texted me and said, thank God you guys didn't get Ben Johnson. Pete Carroll's better for your organization.
100%.
So, I was team Ben Johnson every step of the way. I just thought maybe he could be the next, big guy, the next Andy Reid, the next, so on and so forth, Sean McVay. But hey, we bring in a proven guy in Pete Carroll, and I'm here for the ride. We talked already, Darcy, about this situation on our show, so I'm not going to harp too much into it, but we'll talk about the players. We brought Geno Smith in, right? You have your starting quarterback, a guy that is very accurate, threw for 4,300 yards last season, which is actually crazy. Under the situation with one of the worst O-lines in football, they couldn't run the football. He had to throw a ton. So for him to be, I think, fourth in the NFL in passing yards is big. We extend Max Crosby with all the talk of him being gone, a Buffalo Bill, a Detroit Lions, a Commander, this and that. Darcy even say, it's only a matter of time. He's gone, bro. Extended. He sticks around. He'll be a Raider for life.
Not over yet.
Hey, let's live in the now. Right
the
now,
jury's still out.
Yes, but we bring back a few of our own guys, which I love. We bring back Adam Butler. He has been a sneaky addition to that defensive line. Bring back Malcolm Kuntz, who missed all of last season, but the year prior, he was on his way to becoming a star in this league on a 1-year, $12 million deal. So it's great to have him on a prove-it hometown type of deal. I said Darnay Holmes, he's a guy who could start for you in the slot, but he will not be our starter. We moved on from Nate Hobbs. He was always hurt. Spillane, you guys, I know you guys said $38 million, I believe, with New England. I'm not paying that kind of money for a guy who has one Pro Bowl under his belt, I believe, at 30 years old. I'm just not doing it. That's too much. You're paying him. He's now officially a top 5 paid linebacker in the NFL. Trayvon Merrick is a top 5 paid safety out there in Carolina. And he's never been to one Pro Bowl, no all pro, no none of that. I understand the market is the market, but some of these guys that we allowed to move on, it makes sense for us to allow them to move on because it gives us a chance to upgrade in the draft. Let's just say we don't upgrade and we find, an equal value there. It's a lot more inexpensive. And some of these guys that we brought in free agency, they're all 1-year kind of prove-it deals. They're guys that were drafted early, or some guys like Raheem Mostert who had a down year last year because he was dealing with an injury, but in 2023 had 18 touchdowns on the ground. I mean, over 1,000 yards rushing, Pro Bowl year, 1 year, $2.1 million contract, you guys. I mean, you're bringing in a guy who's a former Pro Bowler. Yes, he's 33 this year, but a veteran that is better than most of the veterans we brought in recent memory at the running back position. Eric Stokes, 1 year, a former Green Bay Packer first-round pick out of Georgia, $4 million contract. This is like the body-wise, it's like the Pete Carroll DBs that he loves, that he used to bring in Seattle. This is a guy that he's very high on.
Jeremy Chin. I was like,
Jeremy Chin, who had a great year for the Commanders last year, and you got him for $8 million per. $16 million for a 2-year deal. That's a steal in this market. Lonnie Johnson Jr., this is just a depth move, special teams kind of guy. A Landon Roberts, who was one of the best linebackers against the run in football last year for Pittsburgh, leaves a lot to be desired in coverage, but this is a thumper. This is like the same move that we did when we brought in Spillane. Who ever heard about Robert Spillane before he became a Raider?
Nobody.
no.
And he was known as a one-dimensional guy, even including myself. I'm like, okay, we brought in the thumper. And, a Landon was like the 3rd or 4th PFF ranked, I think, linebacker against the run. He could have even been even higher than that. But had a really good season for Pittsburgh. Veteran guy that has won some championships in New England with Tom Brady. So it makes sense to bring him in. He has that championship pedigree. And then you bring in a guy that is coming off the worst season of his career, and Alex Kappa struggled mightily last year in Cincinnati, but that offensive line struggled as a whole. 2-year, $11.2 million.
It's a triple crown center too.
Yeah. $5 million guarantee. So you can get him. Essentially, it's a 1-year deal that you can get out of pretty quick. And right now, it looks like he would be the starting guard for us going into the draft. Spy Tech guy, Tampa Bay, was a guard for Tom Brady. These guys know him. I think that they're kind of taking a bet to see if he can, return to the form that he was in Tampa Bay. So, yes, Darcy and Ben, I know this wasn't a sexy move with a lot of these guys, but who could we have got in this free agency period that could have really moved the needle? I mean, I know we talked about Stephon Diggs on the phone and a few guys, skill players. This is a great draft class for wide receivers and running backs. I'm not too much worried about that. And we brought in a few guys, Hunter Renfrow. I think Tyler Lockett is already going to be a Raider. I think that's a foregone conclusion that after the draft, Tyler Lockett will return to Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. And then we got an all-pro, Pro Bowl wide receiver who will be 33 years old, but, coming off of 600 yards, being the third option in Seattle.
I'd say Keenan out. Get Brock Bowers. Like, can you imagine how good he would be if there was a wide receiver on there to throw to? Like, we couldn't stop when we knew that was the only target. And I think you get a Keenan Allen. Obviously, Diggs isn't there, but my biggest problem, guys, is Geno Smith is not him. And I just can tell you, man, I'm telling you as a brother, okay? Mark Sanchez, Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, like I could go on a list forever. And a team does not give up on a player for a 3rd round draft pick unless, and it's a very, like you can be like, oh, Peyton Manning and Drew Brees, but that's because there was injury concerns that they bounced back from, and no one thought Peyton Manning was going to come back and be able to feel his hand again. So that's why the Colts moved on from him. The Seahawks know what Geno Smith can do, and said Ben, that he was worth a 3rd round draft pick.
I love this, Ben, because now I get to sit here and correct you. Okay, Geno wanted out of Seattle. He was the most improved player of the year in 2022, led the Seahawks to the playoffs where they eventually got blown out by the 49ers. Who was the guy that was there that unlocked all that potential out of him?
I don't know.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to Las Vegas to return to someone that he considers a father-like figure for him. Okay. Geno had a few good years, 2-time Pro Bowler, yeah, that doesn't really mean much in today's football. I understand that. I mean, Tyler Huntley has been a Pro Bowler. I don't know how the hell that happened, but I mean, I hear you. But Geno is a middle of the pack at worst quarterback. So, I mean, he's getting paid. He's the 17th highest paid quarterback in the NFL right now. And he could potentially be, I think, the 18th here in a minute. So
I was going to give him like what?
$40 million. They were going to give him Sam Darnold money, and he wanted to leave.
He took 37.5.
See, yes. I didn't know that. Okay.
I want to get you though.
So watch your dirty mouth.
But dude, the fact that you're still saying if Shadur's still on the board at 6, even when the Broncos got Russell Wilson and got swindled out of that, we never would have been like, oh, we'll draft the next quarterback. We thought we'd arrived. And every Raider fan that I know is like, hey, if Shadour's there at 6, we got to pounce. And that is just proof that Geno's not him, guys.
Let me ask you this. Jake, is Geno better than Russell Wilson at this point? Okay.
Oh, right now, for sure he is. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Is he better than anybody that's available out there in free agency this offseason?
Oh, yes.
If you're Pete Carroll and you have a 3-year, 4-year window tops because you're 73 years old, you're going to bet on something that you're familiar with, right?
Yes. And your future quarterback is not in this draft. It
may not be.
Dude, Shador.
Shador. Yeah, but here's the thing.
Good. Shador's not good.
This is what you're missing up on this one, Ben, is because yes, understanding that at first Shador would have been like the lock for the Raiders, but once they got Geno Smith, they had other plans in mind because you know who they inquired about to get on their roster? Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me that they're going to end up taking the quarterback in that pick. If Ashton Jinty is right up,
I'm going to call cap on that report.
Even if they honestly like traded back slightly, and you get Ashton Jinty for that,
move back to 9 with the Saints. Let them get Shador. You get Jinty right before Chicago.
Yes.
The problem isn't the Geno. It's not getting Geno for 1 year. Didn't you he's there for 4 years now. It's the Broncos traded and made a gamble on Russell Wilson, and we're still paying for it today. That's what I'm telling you.
3-year deal, and you can get out of his contract in a year and a half.
This is that they also have more available money than what Denver has.
So what would you grade your offseason? Because I have a comment depending on what your grade is.
Okay. Well, let me say this. I love that Spy Tech did not go out there and go crazy on a bunch of mid players. Okay, so that alone is going to have my grade a little higher. I'm not going to act like we had an A+, you guys. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to act like we had an A-. I give this somewhere along the lines of a B, but also I would lean higher than that because of the coaching staff that we brought in. Dealin, the running back coach for Notre Dame, phenomenal guy. I'm a Notre Dame guy. I know. Like what he did with Love out there in Notre Dame, phenomenal. Like the coaching staff that we brought into this building is going to be the change, the culture change that we were asking for with AP. That's Pete Carroll.
I think if you needed to grade the players, though, because what I'm trying to get at is you said that we had an F-off season where we did the same thing that you did, and we were a better football team, and we have
I was trolling you when I said that.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think Ben or Jake was. So what do you realistically
I gave the Chiefs.
I would give it objectively a B.
Honestly, I give it a B-, C+.
Yeah.
The thing is, I didn't like the way you overpaid Nick Bolton and like reset the linebacker mark. I think that was great that you brought him back. He's a good player, but that much kind of money for Nick Bolton was like, whoa, like
that's fair.
What are we doing here? That kind of threw me off a little bit.
That's on top of already locking in Trey Smith. Like that was
that
was your important need, and I was like,
He signed his tag though, right?
Yes.
I know that they want to get an extension done. They want to get an extension. Yeah. That's why I think you guys had a good offseason regardless. You brought back one of your leaders on that offensive line. Look, I like what you guys did, but Bolton got overpaid. I think bringing in Gardner Minshew,
you just got PTSD. As a backup that's not going to play, it's whatever. It's
funny. When the Chief fans hit you up and says, hey, Ben, he said, what do you think about Janarius Robinson? I was just like, this is going to be fun.
I needed a scouting report. I never heard of him. So I was like,
he was a kid that I was high on at the college level, has all the measurables, but just cannot put this shit together. Just cannot. Had a DUI in Las Vegas on some reckless shit. It's just not been we wanted to use him as a rotational pass rusher. He was getting healthy scratches on a defensive line that had Max Crosby.
Everybody was out. Yeah.
I'm like, you're being a healthy scratch, bro. Like, that's kind of nasty.
So he'll be a Joshua Uche. That's what it'll be.
But to be honest with you, look at the bigger picture, guys. Look at every piece of what our GMs have done, and especially with how experienced, like championship-driven, our coaching staffs are now. Like, the AFC West is already being talked about all around the league.
This is the funnest division in football right now.
It also sucks, dude, because – only 3 of us can make it, man. And it's like, why can't we be in the NFC South?
But Darcy, what's crazy, man? It's just cool to know that we have the second best quarterback in our division, bro. Like, it's just crazy, to know that like the Raiders did that just one swoop of a 3rd round pick. trade Devontae for a third.
You guys can fight it out for a second.
High stakes Smith, baby. But let me say this. If Shedeur is there at 6, which I believe he will be, right? The thing is this. If Brady doesn't take him, that speaks volumes of what he thinks of Shedeur. Because Brady knows that he's not doing this just for this year. He's not. This is something that him and Spytek are trying to build. Spytek got a 5-year deal. So this is something that Pete Carroll was brought in to instill the culture, turn this thing around, maybe bring Chip Kelly in and maybe somebody else. Maybe it could be Graham that's in the building that he's going to teach and coach up to be the guy of the future, or it could be somebody outside of the building. But either way, we know we're not going from 4-13, you guys, to just winning a Super Bowl. It's going to take some time. I would be happy to turn that page and be 9-8, 8-9 this year, because I know at least we're turning this thing around. And as long as it looks good, the product looks good, I'm okay with that. I think if we hit this draft class out the park, we could be better than televised.
One good draft class, you're back in it.
I mean, if Brock has another year like he did last year, if JPJ, our second round guard / center out of Oregon, has another year where he steps up, DJ Glaze is the right tackle, which shows even that he can be that guy on the right side. I think we're going to be okay. But
because you got to understand, look at how all of this started. Because once the Chiefs ended up getting Andy Reid and you've got Brett Veach as your GM, look at some of the turnaround that really helped them out. Yeah. Denver ended up going through that as well. After they fired Nate Hackett, they bring Sean Payton in, and knowing that George Patton needed to redeem himself after that Russell Wilson trade. Now you could see the outliers, Bo Nix. We had the similar position with when we had Brandon Staley, an idiot of a coach, and then we finally get an experienced one in Jim Harbaugh, and you're watching a guy like Joe Ortiz out of a Baltimore system with what they've done for years. They're turned that around to be 11-6. Why cannot the Raiders? Why
there you go, John.
Turn around.
3 refs for rigging the games for the Chiefs. Talk, Leon, talk.
At least spell Chiefs correctly. That's all I ask.
So look, the Ten Commandments, the best move was Chip Kelly. He doesn't want to head coach anymore. We'll finally have some consistency at the OC position for 10.
Dude, it's kind of like Spagnuolo in Kansas City. That's so wild, man, to have like a coordinator who doesn't have aspirations of leaving. Dude, I'm telling you, when it comes to leadership, you're an A. Personnel, I think it's a C, but you're rebuilding. And if you guys just get that defense healthy, I already think it's a better defense than the Chiefs have. I
think one thing that's big, you guys, is us bringing back Christian Wilkins to be healthy. Yes. He was out all year last year. That was our big splash in free agency last year. Kuntz is back healthy. Adam Butler's back on the defensive line. So the strongest, group that we have, period, on the offensive and defensive, they're back. They're stronger. They're good to go. And we're going to build there a little bit more as well in the draft. So, I think we all kind of learned a lot from watching Philadelphia beat the shit out of Darcy's Chiefs, right?
Amen.
It's the trenches mean something. Even Mahomes, the best quarterback in the world,
we went out and got an eagle.
Hey, man, that man looked rattled as shit. But real quick, let's get to the GOAT, Ben, man. Come on, man. 3-round mock draft for his Denver Broncos. So we can do trades too. All right. You guys are here at 20. 3 players off the board right before you guys. Mykel Williams, Edge, Jalen Walker, 2 Georgia boys, and then Jahdae Barron, a guy that the Raiders are very interested going to 19 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your biggest needs here. What are you looking at? Is it going to be the running back position, or are you going to just what are you looking at?
So you took Ashton Genty at 6. Is that what this has?
Will Johnson.
So who is Ashton Genty still?
He went to the Bears.
10. I mean, that's the pipe dream that we all want. And I feel like somebody just said Ben takes Shiloh. Yeah, give me Shiloh Sanders. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I think, with Derek Carr being hurt, I think that pick at 9, I think
Shedeur.
The Saints are probably going to either pick Shedeur or they're going to fold it in, ride with Spencer Rattler this year. Yeah. And Sean Payton has such a good relationship. I think my dream scenario is if Ashton makes it past you at 6, we trade at 9 and get Ashton. He's not there. So give me Colston Loveland just so Jake can't take him.
Okay.
Man, between y'all and the Rams, why?
Is Colston there?
Why?
No, it looks like
Offense
Nope.
on tight end.
dang, Colston
Gone.
Loveland's off the board too. Where do they have
Harold
him going?
Fannin Jr. is there, the kid out of Bowling Green. He's
Yeah,
nice.
he's on a top
they
30
took-
visit right now with Denver.
Took him. So then who took
Who
Tyler
took Tyler Warren?
He went 9
Jets?
to the Saints, which makes no sense.
No. Okay, give me O'Marion Hampton.
Okay, so you're gonna go get the best running back left on the board, North Carolina. I hate it because he's gonna ball out for y'all. All right, second round.
Okay, do you think he's that much better than Audric Estime though? Like
Trade.
they,
I do, and you know I'm a Notre Dame.
you
guy.
love Audric, yeah.
I do.
Yes.
I love Audric, but this kid is he's
To
one
be
of
honest,
them.
to be honest with you, Audric Estime would be just like Gus Edwards. I'm sorry,
Huh.
but he's more the physical back, like I kept talking about. But now you need to add speed. You need to add everything on there, and I think Amarian is good for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just looking at like all the players that like me as a Chiefs fan would want to take in this position. Like I'd take Tyleek Williams in a heartbeat.
Well, dude, I was
He's
just
in
gonna.
the second round.
This is bogus.
I-
Like Kenneth Grant isn't gonna be. Give me Kenneth Grant in the second round. Yeah, I'll take him.
Pair up with DJ Jones. That is
Yeah.
scary.
That's actually bananas because
Yeah,
a lot of people give like Graham all the credit, and a lot of that success came from him.
yeah.
Like he was that big body next to like it's crazy. We'll
Yeah.
do no trades. We'll keep the trades off and keep it fast. So right here, you got a defense tackle, you got a running back. You're probably gonna look at the corner or the wide receiver position here, right?
Yeah. Can you filter by a wide receiver?
Yeah, we'll go to wide
Um,
receivers.
Oh, I thought that was Ted McMillan. I was like, what? Okay, so Tez Johnson is cool. He is Bo Nix's adopted brother. I think that's way too high to get him.
Yeah,
But give me Tez Johnson there just for
you're gonna do it.
yeah, man. Just because it's Bo Nix's brother, dude. When he give me
Them Oregon wide receivers never pan out, dog.
yeah.
They never pan out.
So
You have
did-
one
I
on your
did.
roster right now that sucks.
Well, he had a touchdown in the playoffs, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it was nice too.
Yeah.
Amarion Hampton, Kenneth Grant, Tez Johnson. How do you guys rank this? To be honest, I give
this
this
is an A. This is an A.
the Tez Johnson to me. Fuck this whole shit.
Because
Yeah.
I mean the Tez Johnson was not the reason of it, but think about it. Amarian Hampton, you finally got your trench running back right there. And then on top of it, you are pairing DJ Jones with Kenneth Grant, dude.
Nasty.
On top of already what you already have with Zach Allen and all them.
Yeah.
I would have personally took a corner there at 85 and waited on the wide receiver because there's a few other guys that you could bring in maybe in the 4th, 5th round. And there's still a few guys available. I mean, Mari Cooper's looking for a job. You know, you got Keenan Allen, a few other veteran guys that you could take a look at. But I'm not mad at this. I think the first 2 picks, you knocked it out the park.
Ben,
So,
honestly, if I was you, I would have maybe considered. By the way, Camera's dead, just like the Chiefs. But I would have considered taking Luther Burden in the first.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I would. I mean,
Ooh.
what do they say? He's like Debo basically, but like
He's
younger.
gonna be good. He just had a really bad quarter. He had
Brady Cook was not that great out there.
Brady Quinn.
No, Brady Cook was bad.
Yeah,
I watched him at the Shrine, and I was like, "This is
No.
what all these people were talking about."
he's gonna
Like
be good.
Kyle McCord made all those quarterbacks at the Shrine Bowl look like they were Pee Wee football.
Oh, dude, Curtis Rourke has a better look on him than what Brady Cook.
The kid in Indiana is nice. I like him, and he'll be a later round guy, pro style, football. And he got the measurable. He's like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
All right, so let me get out of here. We're gonna go back to restart. We're
Dude,
gonna go
what
on-
is that? I've never done this. That's cool. What is this site?
This is the Pro Football Network.
And you can just
ProFootballNetwork.com.
pick your
That's
team
this
and then
one.
you do a mock draft. I love it.
Yep.
This one is dope.
I can't even. Am I just blind, or the charges don't exist to me? I don't know. Like, are they here?
Are you literally seeing it on the left side, bro?
right below the
I'm
Chiefs.
not. No,
Yeah.
I just always just
Yeah, yeah.
block it out too.
There it goes. There it goes.
I like how smooth you were about that, bro.
All right, our brother Jake. 3 rounds.
All right.
No trades. We'll keep the trades off.
Oh, dang, dude. That's
Okay.
Ooh.
Why would we have given them that?
Matthew Golden would
Okay.
be sick, dude.
So let me look up on the board on who's all
God
taken.
has played predominantly in a slot with him and McConkey. That'd be nasty.
So that is the spark talk right now is between Matthew Golden and then pairing him with Lad McConkey. But then
Yeah.
again, did Colston Loveland get taken?
Yeah,
Let's see.
he's off.
Yeah,
okay,
he's gone.
so he's up. So I will take Matthew Golden because initially you get another weapon there for Justin Herbert. I know a lot of people are talking about with the Quinn Johnston trade, and then they're also talking about that potential Keenan Allen reunion. To me,
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that, but I'm not going to put him in a position that we already replaced him with Ladd McConkey. So it's either you take the minimum or that's that.
Okay. Caleb Johnson's not falling to 52, is he?
He may be available.
This one, okay. Let me look at the defensive side.
Yeah,
I'm looking at edge.
Okay. That kid out of UCLA is nice.
Yeah.
He's nice.
I was thinking about that.
It's a little too early right here. A little too early to take him.
It is a little too early. So
he'll probably be there in the third for you, to be real.
So I think, to me personally, I would look at
these are your DTs right here.
I would look at TJ Sanders at South Carolina.
I want
one of those guys because South Carolina's defensive tackles hit it out the park this past season.
Darius Alexander is the truth, too, out of Toledo. He's nice, but I'm going to give you need some interior help on that defensive line.
We do.
All right. So let's see if that edge is still available for you.
Okay.
Or you can look elsewhere.
Let's look at the offense again because I'm looking at now at this point tight end.
Okay. So the best tight end available will be
that guy from Texas.
Oh, you know what? Elijah Arroyo is nice too out of Miami.
I would take Elijah Arroyo on this one.
Yeah, he's nice. He looked really good at the Shrine Bowl. Or not the Shrine, but the Senior Bowl. That's another kid you guys to keep an eye on is Rondé Gadsden, the second down there. Syracuse converted wide receiver. He was the Kyle McCord's number one option in Syracuse. He's nice. So boom, get your tight end right there. This is a nice little draft. Matthew Golden, TJ Sanders, Elijah Arroyo addressed 3 different spots that needed spots. I'm not mad at this, and I hate it because Matthew Golden's one of my favorite wide receivers in this class.
Because the point of this is that we needed to get our offensive playmaker, and whether that be Matthew Golden or that would be Colston Loveland, either one of those guys, I would be totally fine with. If we don't take a tight end of that round, you go get Matthew Golden if available, and if he's not there, then you go take Colston Loveland. It's pretty much a 50-50 swing. Now, when I looked at the defensive side, because the guys that I was looking at was TJ Sanders was one of them. Another one was Jack Sawyer, the edge out of Ohio State. Because
his only knock is he's slow. You know what I mean? But
and you know what? That's okay because if he's on that rotation with Khalil Mack and with Thule, and then you bring in Sawyer to at least slim him down to get him a little faster.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he'd be nice.
Oh, you got Luther Burden and O'Marion Hampton here.
So
here you go, Dart.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna be smart here, and while it'd be nice to take Luther,
you're gonna go the kid that you don't like. You gonna take Nolan? Did you take Nolan?
Yeah,
in the first
yeah,
one?
yeah. I've taken Walter Nolan before. I'm gonna take him again. I'll take Walter Nolan. We need a defensive tackle. I like him a lot. I think he projects well.
Him next to Chris Jones is scary.
Yeah, let's see. I'm very curious to see who's going to be available.
What's up with Denver and the Chiefs trying to like move?
Yeah, that would never happen in real life.
Why are they getting
Kenneth Grant? Yeah.
Jalen Noel is
dude, that sucks, dude. Kenneth Grant, you could have had him there. And
yeah.
You don't even really truly need a receiver here, though, to be honest. Like, I like Jalen Noel, but
no, but for when Rashid like drives drunk again or Xavier Worthy fights somebody, I don't know. It's good to have them.
It's between Darian Porter and Jalen Noel. Because we could always use. Honestly, I'm gonna take Jalen Noel. I don't hate the pick at all. I've
like 5'10", 5. Yeah,
yeah, but he can fly though.
Yeah.
So he kind of fits.
That would be a Chiefs pickup too. I hate that.
And we got a couple 3rd round picks. And honestly, this might be just insane. I'll double up on defensive tackle. I'll take Grant here. Like if we have this mock draft fall this way, why would we not do this?
Hey, bro, you gotta relax. Like GT needs some. He needs to be able to run on y'all, man. Relax, bro.
But yeah, if you think of how the Chargers and the Broncos want to play, and the Raiders want to play, yeah, you load up on defensive line, and that's what just beat you in the Super Bowl. Darcy, do you remember when you guys lost in the Super Bowl? Because with 4 guys, they were like in the backfield the entire time. So yeah, you build in the trenches, bro.
I see some. What are the running backs still? I've taken DJ Giddens in so many mocks, and he's not even my favorite running back. I would take Devin Neal, but not in the third.
Let me tell you something about Giddens real quick. You know more than me because you live out there. But I watched him at the Big 12 Pro Day live. He had a problem in the passing game, like securing the football. I don't know what it was, 2 or 3 plays back to back to back. He dropped the ball. There was another time where he ran the wrong route and was just completely off. And mind you, that's not his quarterback. So there's going to be some timing and some communication issues. But, man, I was like, damn, because I was expecting Giddens to, like, ball out there. Like, he was one of the more talented guys. He didn't really stand out to me. And he had a great year of production. But I know how you feel about Kansas State, too.
He is fast as shit, but I don't know. I'm good on that. Go back to all. I do want to see. I'm not super actually happy with this mock. I feel like it hasn't really fallen the way that I'm taking Kyle Kennard right now. I'm taking the edge from South Carolina.
You said
97. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Kyle Kennard.
So you just okay. So Darcy said, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah,
Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant,
Wow,
Kyle Kennard. I don't know if you can read it. See, that's why he got off camera because it's his body language. He's like, we're the Kansas City Eagles now.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Bill. It's one of the best defensive drafts in recent memory. Why not go get defense?
Well,
yeah. All right. Let me show you guys how this is done.
Yeah,
right?
let's do. Yeah, dude, I'm pumped to see this.
Let's go ahead.
And I want to hear why are you picking Genty? What are you? All right, let's hear.
All right, and Shador will be available.
Oh, he's available.
I love how they give you the reports on this thing. That is badass.
Now, I love Shador.
I cannot wait to see this.
I love Shador. And I would love if Tom Brady took him here at 6. I would love it. Kind of just steer the draft up a little bit. Saints are going to be shaking in their boots. Pittsburgh, if Aaron doesn't sign out there anytime soon, they're probably like, what the hell is going on? This would be a move where I'd be like, for the first time in forever, the Raiders are actually thinking about the future and just not the now, right? Pete Carroll, 3-year deal, 4-year team option. They want to win now. They want to compete, in the words of Pete Carroll. What does Chip Kelly like to do? What does Pete Carroll like to do? They like to run the football. They want to run the football down opposing defenses' throats. So it's between GT and Sanders here. And also, Spike Tech, what? He hit out the park. What did Bucky Irving go last year? You guys 3rd round?
Fourth round. It was like 4th, 5th round. Between
somewhere in the middle rounds, right? They got Bucky Irving.
And Braylon Allen were by far the most stolen running backs in those drafts. They were such steals.
Well, this is the thing. Tom Brady's probably sitting there and saying, Shador's there. What do you guys want to do? And we're probably making a few calls to a few teams to see if we can move back a little bit. I know that Spy Tech is probably saying, I would love Mason Graham. Loves those big boys. Michigan boy. He's from Michigan guy. I'm taking GT here. I just feel like you cannot. We need a running back. We were actually the worst running team in the NFL last season. And that room is not that much better this year. I mean, you had Raheem Mostert, but Ashton GT to me, and a lot of people disagree, to me, when you watch his tape and you just look at the production alone, he is a generational type running back.
Dude, he had more yardage after first contact than any other running back in the class. But, dude, I'm telling you, you'll never pick this high again. If Shador is there, that's the hope here, that you never have to pick this high.
Well, if Shador is there, you're hoping that you won't, but also you're taking a guy that may sit for 2 seasons.
You want somebody that's ready to play right now. That's the difference on it with the Ginty and with Shador thing. Because Shador, probably minimum, he's going to sit for 2.
If we did not get Geno, Ben, if we didn't go out there and let me say this. If we signed Geno, if we just kept him on his existing deal where he had 1 year left on his deal, I'm all over this. I'm like, take Shador. It makes total sense. Once again, it still makes a lot of sense to go get him right now. But also, I don't really know how Brady feels about Shador. I just don't. I know that he signed him to an NIL deal. Years past, he was the first athlete that he signed to his brand. There's a lot of connections there. At this point. Yeah, but it's just like he met up with Geno Smith in Miami at his house. They sat down and talked ball. And he was like, I was in on bringing you in. I loved the way you went about your game in Seattle and so on and so forth. I just think it makes sense for them to go GT. Will Johnson will be another name to keep an eye on there. but his injuries scare the shit out of me. So I don't think we're going to go that route. So we're going to hide this.
This is also where it lands you guys in a very good spot on this pick. If
Yes.
you know
Yes. Well, I already know where I'm going here. It'd be easy to go get another quarterback, right? Jackson Dart's on the board. He'll meet with the Raiders here soon. I think he already met with the Raiders. Jalen Milroe, we spoke with him at the combine, and we were, pretty high on the athleticism that he has. And once again, he's a physical specimen, but he just has to get it all together here, right? I'm going, and for those who watch my channel, you kind of know where I'm going here. This kid right here, we just moved on from Jack Jones, and honestly, he was essentially our number one corner. I mean, Jacorian Bennett was last year in year 2, but he got injured and was down. I'm taking Siobhan Revel here. If he did not sustain ACL, he fits the build of what Pete Carroll wants at the cornerback position. He would have been a top 10 pick if he was not injured last year. East Carolina, give me my corner one. Him, Jacorian, DCAM. It's going to be a fun cornerback group to watch. And then we're going to go get another one in the mid to later rounds because Pete Carroll is a DB whisperer. Give me Siobhan Revel right there in round 2. And then I have a wide receiver here in round 3. If he's available, I'm taking him. And I know some people may be like, why? But I don't care. Let me see. Boom. I'm going to go to offense. I'm looking at wide receivers here. And there's a list of guys, right? We need an X. But I'm going to go get a guy that can play in the slot and in the X. And for those who follow me on Twitter, they follow me on YouTube, Instagram. This is the exact way I'm going about. I've attacked my round 3s with I'm taking Jack Beck out of TCU. 6'1", never drops the football. Can play in the slot, can play on the boundary. The dude is a stud, and a lot of people think that he can be like that Puka, type wide receiver, the small, so-called smaller school and blah, 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 but that kind of still in this year's class. We need a wide receiver. I think if you go get him and you bring in Tyler Lockett after the draft, you kind of shored up your wide receiver group with him, Jacoby, Trey Tucker. To me, that's a nasty group. I'm taking Jack Beck. So there you go.
He has better hands than Quinn Johnston.
For sure. He does not drop the football. One thing by him, he's not dropped the ball. So you got 3 starters.
Yeah. No, those, and what's funny about that is because we've seen with what Pete Carroll's been able to do with Tariq Woolen and even with like Devin Witherspoon. It makes a lot of sense with Siobhan Revel because at that point, I thought you guys would have maybe taken Jackson Dart, but that makes a lot of sense taking Siobhan Revel. I mean, if he just so happened to have still been available or any of the better quarterbacks in that 3rd round, maybe, but that's not bad for Jack Beck.
I think we look in the round 4 where Will Howard will be available. I think that they hope, and I'm not high on him at all, but I think they hope that Quinn Ewers is there in the 4th round. They're high on him. So if he's there, they'll take him. Kyle McCord will still be there somewhere. So I'm not really worried about them going to get a quarterback in the first 3 rounds after you've sewn up Geno Smith. And you have a guy in Aiden O'Connell still on this roster that played a ton of starting minutes for you. So it's not really a necessity to have to take one here in the first 3 rounds when next year's class is much deeper. So
I'm just not sold on Quinn Ewers coming into the end.
I'm not either.
No, I'm not. Because here's the thing, man. Like, yes, he's got an arm. Yes, he can do all that. But, man, he cannot clean it up. He's just got too much. I just don't know if that's a Texas thing. Like, they love the gunslinger mentality. I watched Garrett Gilbert. I watched those guys. The only guy that was really exciting to watch from there, not only just Vince Young, but
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy was fucking badass.
Yeah.
That's the part where I was like, I loved him more than a lot of all these other, like, Texas quarterbacks. I mean, hell, Sam Ellinger was not even panning out.
Like, real quick, man, salute to everybody still in the build. We got over 700 people rocking with us. Appreciate you guys so much.
We're doing this live? What the? I thought this was the practice,
Open
bro.
your eyes, man.
I would have worn a bigger hoodie. This is my little sister's hoodie.
I know my brother got work, and I know he got some stuff going on. Salute to our brother, Ben. And once again, you guys, Ben, brother, I just want to say, everybody in the chat, man, if you guys can you just say a prayer for our brother, Ben? Not going to go into details. Just say a prayer for our brother, Ben. You know what I mean? He can really use it. We need to uplift our brother. There's a lot going on right now in his personal life. And like I said, I hate to put you on the spot, but I don't want to, but as many as we can get, we need to get them. Okay.
Yes, my man.
So everybody in the chat, if you guys can, please keep our brother Ben in your prayers. It's bigger than football. It's bigger than any of that. You know, this is our brother in real life. We actually care and love for him, and we want the best for him. So everybody in the chat, man, if you guys can, put them prayer hands up for our brother Ben. Thank you guys so much for bringing this back. This will be uploaded also on Ben's channel and on Jake's channel. So stay tuned. And you guys, we're going to do these a lot more constantly, like more consistently, leading up to the draft and after the draft. So stay tuned for that. We are back, you guys. Once again, this is no disrespect to Roundtable. Thank you to Roundtable Sports for allowing us to meet each other and allowing us to be able to do this. I knew Jake before this, but it was great to meet Darcy and great to meet my brother Ben through that avenue. So once again, no disrespect ever to what they got, because without them, this would not have been possible. But we will be here. Try to do it once a week. See as much as we can. I know me and Darcy will be doing some shows as well. Me and Jake will be doing every week. We play each other. We're gonna be doing shows like we always do as well. So, but other than that, man, you guys want to say anything on the way out, Ben?
Nope, love it, man. It's so pumped to be back. It's going to be a crazy, amazing next 3 weeks.
Let's go, Jake. What you got, brother?
I'm so happy for us to be back, man. It's a new opportunity and it's a new way on, like new entertainment, honestly, and it's in our own way. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, prayers up to you, Ben. Listen, I don't know if you've heard of it, but I go to Brave Church down in Inglewood. But I got prayers up for you and your family, bro. And if you're ever feeling like it, come on down, bro. Sundays.
Love it. Love it. Darcy, what your big head ass got to say?
Travis Kelce's better than Evan Ingram. The Chiefs are going to win the AFC West. All your teams suck. And I'm so glad to be back doing this. Man, it's been so long since we've had the group together. So I'm just super glad that we've all been able to, get back and do this on a Saturday night. And we're going to do so many more of these.
We need to get our sponsorship with Shinesty so we can bring that Halloween.
Well, I want you guys also in the chat to know this too, because I have a lot of people that reach out to me about sponsorships and stuff. If anyone has a product and they're interested in getting involved with the AFC West with us, let us know. DM any of us. We'll definitely look at it and take a look, because we're definitely going to be doing this a lot. So if you do have any business that you want to get involved with the AFC West, you got 4 different fan bases that'll get a look at your product or whatever it is you're trying to push. So reach out to any of us through DM or email me, oaklasvegas@gmail.com. I'll make sure to CC my guys and we'll make it happen. So other than that, Broncos suck, Chargers are ass, Chiefs ain't shit. Love you guys. As always, nation, appreciate you. And once again, salute to all my brothers. And this will be over on Darcy's channel and all our channels. So salute you guys. We're going to try and be, next week, can we do this or what? When are you guys going to be free?
Yeah, we should be able to.
Next, we gotta do one more before the draft.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, and then we'll double up after the draft and we can talk about that. So let's do that. But all right, you guys, have a blessed night. We are out.
Go Chiefs.